Bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'aventure? Ah, monsieur le président, un pauvre qui vote ou celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Ah, monsieur le président, à l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux, vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux, wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Des jeunes prennent le chemin de la Libye pour devenir des esclaves. Les jeunes prennent la route du désert pour entrer en Europe. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux, c'est de Touko. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Hi. Good day to the beautiful people of the Cameroons, the beautiful people of La Republique du Cameroun, that country that had its independence on the 1st of January 1960, and they handed their sovereignty to France in 1959. And greetings to the beautiful people of British Southern Cameroon, that country that had its independence on the 1st of October 1961 and was annexed by La République du Cameroun and France. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a party political broadcast by myself, Maître Moulin Alex Ndive Lee Singh, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by making it clear that most of you, especially my brothers and sisters, my mommy and papa them for La République du Cameroun, stop misleading people that La République du Cameroun and British Southern Cameroon used to be one country. They have never ever been one country before 1961. I repeat, La République du Cameroun and British Southern Cameroon, they have never ever been one country before 1961. What some of you say, German Cameroon, this Cameroon, it was not a country. Ladies and gentlemen, I repeat, La République du Cameroun and British Southern Cameroon, they have never ever been one country before 1961. Never. Rio dos Cameros, River Woolly was a Portuguese sugar slave plantation. It was not a country. It was later handed to the Dutch. What was handed to the Dutch? It was not a country. It was still that Portuguese slave sugar plantation, not a country. When the Germans came there, whether they said they signed war treaty with Douala chiefs, so Douala chief, they had nothing to do with Bakure chief, with Banso chief, maybe with Betty chief, maybe what? It was not still a country. There's nothing like German Cameroon. It was not a country. A country have got a definition, a political authority, a territory, and a population. That is the constitutional definition of a country. A Portuguese sugar slave plantation cannot be a country. When the Germans were defeated, they came the spoils of war. They partitioned it among them. This Muzungu 419, they say, under trust territory. Who gave them that power? It was not still a country. It's a fact. I'm not making it up. It was not still a country when Britain and France, they defeated the Germans, they took over that territory. They say, oh, it's United Nations. Who is United Nations? United Nations is still Britain and France. They call another name. Oh, United is still Britain and France. I can call my name Peter and Paul, but it's still me. So it was not still a country. So when I see, whether it's on social media or TV station, some people in the Cameroons, they say we were one before. We have never ever been one. Let me tell you when we were one. When Dr. Endeli was made Prime Minister of British Southern Cameroon, that was a political authority. When we elected, we had our parliamentarians, that was political authority. When we have House of Chiefs, that was a political authority. Then we have a different population from La Republique du Cameroun. Then we had a territory, that was a country. We had an indigenous Africa who was the Prime Minister. Who was that Prime Minister in Rio dos Cameroon, Portuguese? Who was that Prime Minister, indigenous person under the Dutch, the German, British, and who was the indigenous Africa who was ruling that place? The way they call you, say it's a country. You people have a separate country, we had a separate country. And we have never been one. What happened on the 1st of October, 1961? We came to form a single political entity. We did not come to form one country. We had our parliament, separate parliament. La Republique du Cameroun had a separate parliament from British Southern Cameroon. So they say, okay, dissolve your parliament. Let's come and form a single political entity, not one country. Scotland had a different parliament from England. England had a different parliament. They said, let's come together and form one single political entity. So they dissolve the parliament, English parliament, dissolve Scottish parliament, the same like British Cameroon and La Republique du Cameroun. Then Scotland and England, they form one political entity, but not one country. Two countries form one political entity. British Cameroon and La Republique du Cameroun, two countries came and formed one political entity. The difference with Scotland and England is that La Republique du Cameroun have annexed British Southern Cameroon. That's the true history. Most of you like to lie too much. You deceive people. We were one. One when? Who was that president of that one Cameroon? We have never been one. We came to, there's a difference between two countries coming to form a single political entity. The European Union, you can see 27 countries have come to form a single political entity. They have a European Parliament, have the same money, but they maintain their countries. That is how La Republique du Cameroun and South Cameroon, we came together. That was the basis. Nothing else, not to form one country. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying this because I want those people to stop lying. They like lying. That's why you people don't like debate in the Cameroons. Because if you put any of these La Republique people or those people in British Southern Cameroon who are supporting this rubbish, I'll defeat you hands down because you don't know the definition of a country. You don't really know even the historians in the Cameroons, they don't even know their own history. They don't know their history. They just talk. That's why they are afraid to sit on the same platform with Maître Mola Alex Divelisinghe, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Ladies and gentlemen, today, what I want to say today is very pertinent. I'm sure a lot of people, they have never thought about it. I've never heard a single presidential candidate in the Cameroons talking about what I'm going to say today. Either because they don't know or they are ignorant or they are daft. Because you cannot do politics without knowing what I'm about to say today. This is one of the marginalization that they are marginalizing the people of British Southern Cameroon, that nobody talks about it. Ever since I was born, I've never heard. I say I have not heard. Maybe somebody have said it. We recently passed through presidential election. Nobody was talking about this. And I want to say it today. I like to do comparative studies. Even my senior friend, Professor Elvis Ngole says he does comparative studies. Send this video to him because I don't know if he really understands what is comparative policies. In the United Kingdom, we have something they call Independent Boundary Commission. Independent Boundary Commission. This commission is responsible to draw constituency boundary. You know, like when there's election, the MPs, they belong to constituency. We say we have constituency in the Cameroons, but stricto sensu, we don't have constituency. Stricto sensu, we have a non-functional National Assembly. They are not even parliamentarians. They are not members of parliament. They call the National Assembly. Stricto sensu is different from parliament. That's why they don't debate anything. They only go there to make budget, then they disappear. We don't have parliament in the Cameroons. That was a diversion. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you, this Independent Boundary Commission, they are responsible to make sure every time, from time to time, they can come and change constituency. And there are rules and regulations on how to do that. The last time I can recall that let me use the word in quotes, in the Cameroons, that there was last major drawing of constituency in Cameroon. Guess what? It was through a presidential decree. Decree number 97/062 on the 2nd of April, 1997. President Paul Biya of La Republique du Cameroun created or increased 58 divisions. To them, division is constituency. You don't even know divisions, they are not the same. Constituency is different, that you have an independent boundary. And there are criteria how to do it. But in Cameroon, it was a presidential decree. How can a presidential decree promulgate constituency? Constituency and division is not the same. You just go, oh, people from Frontem, Lebialem have given you a division. No. Constituency is different. They have to be similar size number. And it has to be done by an independent commission. It has never happened in the Cameroons. Mr. Biya just sit and increase division without knowing the population. Because each MP, they should have a similar constituency. Maybe a certain percentage. But let me go back to this discrimination, what I want to say, which concerns the boundaries. Let's start first. In 1960, La République du Cameroun, the population was just above 3 million. I want to tell you, you see this discrimination today. How they discriminate and nobody sees it. Bello Buba doesn't see it. Biya doesn't see it. Chiruma doesn't see it. Akere Muna don't see it. All the presidential candidates, they don't even know these things. But you want to run a country. If you want to run a country, you must know what I'm about to say. And if you don't know, how do you run a country? Because when you are in government, you're running a country, these are the things you have to start changing. But you listen. They just ended presidential election in La République because nobody mentioned what I'm about to say now. Listen carefully. Because I give free lectures. British Cameroon National Party. Competent people, they give free lectures on things in your country that you don't know. You don't think about. Because it does not suffice that I go and work somewhere, international organization. I go and get PhD or a lawyer, then you come, you don't have clue. Politics, you grow inside politics. I've been a member of a political party in the United Kingdom for more than 20 years. I participate, stood as a candidate for councillor. All those things you learn. There's a structure to train leaders in political party in the United Kingdom, but there's no structure in the Cameroons. That's why people like Mr. Biya, they have to be there for 92 years because nobody is being trained. I heard, how do they call this man? Jean Didier Momo. Jean Didier Momo said that the Onma form me. How can you go and be a minister, then they form you inside, train you while you're a minister? It means it's a disaster. You cannot make policies. He's saying the truth. That's what happens in Cameroon. You take somebody from a university teacher and put him a minister, prime minister. How can you run a deal? It is a complete different ball game. But they go there, they learn work while they are minister. They learn how to be minister. On the contrary, in a democracy, in Western world, before you become a minister, you are already experienced, you know what to do, you come and make policies. But in the Cameroon, they run it with presidential degree. Okay, let me go back. East Cameroon, La Republique du Cameroun, the population in 1960 was above 3 million. West Cameroon, British Southern Cameroon, the population in 1960 was approximately 850,000 people. That was it. So the entire population of the two Cameroons was what? Approximately above 5 million in 1960. So in 1961, La République du Cameroun had 106 members of parliament. Let me call it so. 106 La République. That's what? 1961. Southern Cameroon, West Cameroon had 37 members of parliament in 1961. So the total members of parliament were what? Between La République du Cameroun and British Southern Cameroon was what? 143 members of parliament. That was 1961. 1961. And the population was what? Above 5 million of the two countries. Today we have a population of 30 million. Guess what happened? 30 million today. Northwest and Southwest, British Southern Cameroon have 35 members of parliament. Less than the MP that we had in 1961, 37. Can you imagine? That's how they discriminate us. You people don't see it. Can you imagine? In 1961, we have 37 members of parliament in British Southern Cameroon. In 2025, we have 35 members of parliament, where the population has increased. Because you have more MPs based on the population. That's why in Western democracy, they keep on changing the boundaries because based on the population. So La République du Cameroun, currently, after 1961, they had 106 members of parliament, 1961. Today, they have 145 members of parliament. So how come they have increased 39 more MPs, while they have instead reduced 2 more MPs? You have more members of parliament based on the population. Can you imagine? These are the discrimination that people don't see it. What's our population today? We have less members of parliament in 2025 than we had in 1961-37. So they have increased their own. They have increased more region, 3 more regions. It's discrimination. It's a form of discrimination. We don't see it. They have increased 3 more regions in in La République du Cameroun. Guess what? When you have more regions, you have more advantage. Mr. Biya, Central South used to be one. So they used to have one budget, one governor, all thing. They separated it. Different budget, different governors, more prefer. Same too with Adamawa far north now. So they gain more. In the Cameroons, when they had said they are distributing money, they do it on regions. So we remain that 2 region provinces, as they used to call it, since 1961. But they have increased their own. That's discrimination. They give themselves more money. That's why I used to say, I want FACO to be a region. Forget. Regions have got nothing to do with the countries. Regions are administrative units. Then you don't do constituency by making presidential degree. Mr. Biya, the last time I heard Cameroon had the constituency, they call it division. It's not even constituency. Because in a constituency, I will tell you what happens with constituency is different. So ladies and gentlemen, nobody talks about what I'm saying. Everybody is silent. Write on the comment. Comment. Have you ever heard anyone talking about these statistics that I'm talking? They discriminate against Southern Cameroon. Technically, we don't see it. When you want to talk, people like Chiruma, oh, we don't have roads too. We don't have hospital too. We are not talking about roads and hospital. The discrimination we are talking about is unique. It's not about hospital, road, or other thing. We are talking how they use technicality and they cheat us. Let them explain to us. How come that? In 1961, we had 37 members of parliament. In 2025, we have 35 now. Less. After how many years? Then they have increased their 106 MP to 145. But they have decreased our own. And nobody talks about it. All the Anglophones who are in La Republique government or top officials, they don't talk about it because they are contented. They are eating. They don't bother. I understand. Young Philemon went to Ngwakele, study law, become procureur in Boya. He has been minister at the age since 1975. But they don't talk about it. They are just there for them and their family and their friends. These are things, when you're an opposition or you're a politician, you should be raising these type of things to the government. That's why I say, I scrutinize and I hold the government to account. Ladies and gentlemen, constituency is not done through a presidential degree. It's done by independent boundary commission. Fairness. Before you do these things, you have to consult the public consultation. The boundary commission must adhere to certain rules. They have to. You have to look at the constituency like in England. You have to make sure that electorate of constituency should be at least 5% of the electorate quota. 5%, 5%. You have to make sure there could be some exception, but you have to make sure that each MP, the population is about 5%. It's not about presidential degree, about division. So you see, CNU rebranded CPU. They don't even know how to govern a country. When I talk, you people think I'm joking. In the United Kingdom, boundary commission they have boundary commission in the United Kingdom in all the 4 countries. They created there. From time to time, they come and review parliamentary boundaries, and they have a process that they use public consultation. They consult political party. Members of public can give representation to the commission. It is very important. These are things we don't do in Cameroon. We say we do politics, but we don't know these things. And when the commission finishes, they submit what their findings to the government. Then the government now can finally look at it and they implement it. That's how it works. All constituencies, they must be on the same size. You have to look at the local types, the locality, the people. So these are things these are hidden discrimination that a lot of people of Southern Cameroon, they don't see it. These are things while we are fighting the right to self-determination, we have to be pointing out to this non-functional government and non-functional opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, these things are very helpful that we should know. If you don't know, you cannot talk. And if you don't talk, nothing will change. So once more, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a party political broadcast by myself, Maitre Mola Alex Ndive Lisinge, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Ou celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Avec le président. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux. Des vieux, des vieux. Des jeunes prennent le chemin de la Libye. Devenus des esclaves. Les gens prennent la route du désert pour entrer en Europe. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux, c'est de tout corps. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. À la présidence, les